I don't know how I only have 15 minutes left of time, but I recorded a 30-minute video and I wanted to edit it and get a snippet out of the video, and it wound up keeping the snippet and erasing the other 30 something minutes. I don't know how I did that. I misread the options and I clicked the wrong button. And so I woke up at 2:30 this morning, and this message is on my heart that, you know, a lot of us, or some of us, are running to get into other things to avoid facing, or to avoid going through the process of facing ourselves. And that was me, 13, 14 years ago. I rushed and ran into a marriage because I was running from myself, and I was running from facing the responsibilities that I needed to develop. I was running from that. I was running from that, and in the midst of me running, I can speak about it now because I'm in a different place, but at that time, I was running from responsibility. I was running from I was being lazy. I was running from, wanting for having to do certain things by myself. I wanted to remain in the comfort of somebody else doing it, right? And so for me, it was like jumping from one nest to another nest without flying on my own. And what is one nest from another nest? From living with my mom, my parent, single parent home. Anyways, that's not the point. But from living with my family and then jumping into a marriage. Some cultures would say, well, that's how we do it, and da 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 da. I get that, culturally. But however, there was a process that I knew I needed to go through, and I was running from that. I was running from the process of adulthood. I was running from the process of adulting. I was running from the process of doing it by myself. Even though there was a moment in my life at that time where I did want to experience life on my own, but it took a turn. And now I realize how important it is to experience that in your life, But I say all that to say, some of us are getting into other things to avoid the responsibility of the things that we really are supposed to do. Get down and face yourself and know yourself. Whether that be some traumas you experience or what it's like, really knowing yourself. We go through different seasons and we develop different things in life, da da da. But and sometimes we can get into situations where it can stagnate a certain part of us that we know that roars and just cries within. And then it can only last for so long. Oh man, I just wish I had that other video. I gave an example in the video that got lost. In my 37 years of experience, I have a 4-year-old, and she just feels like she knows everything. She's only been here on the planet for 4 years, and I've been here for 37 years. So there is some things that I know would be on her mind, right? And sometimes I will allow her, or sometimes when she does, let's say I'll give her a lesson on why we don't do certain things or why we shouldn't do certain things, right? And she's like, okay, okay. And then she's faced with the opportunity to choose, you know, should I choose what mommy said or should I try it my own way? Even though I know mommy gave me wisdom on why we shouldn't do this. Well, she does it her way. And then here I come, like, Lily, I told you, we weren't gonna do that, or I asked you not to do that. Now, look what happened. You went into the refrigerator and all the sugar fell, or da da da. Right. This is why it's important to really listen to mommy. And she goes, yes, mom, I understand now. And now she listens. But she had to go through that trouble to see the drama of it all for her to realize, oh my gosh, I just made a really big mess of my life in her world, right? And that's the same like the Most High would do. He would, gently talk to us first and say, we shouldn't go this route. I don't want you going in the refrigerator, or I don't want you picking up this relationship, or whatever, getting this job, and we think we got it figured out and we want to do it our way. And then we make a mess of ourselves. And in my disappointment, yet loving mercy and grace, I help her out of it. I help her clean the sugar up that's spilled on the floor. And then I explain to her, this is what I wanted you to avoid all along. Okay? So now there's some residue of repercussions that you have to sit with for a little bit. But this is the process of that choice that you made, And, we can run from, I'm turning the corner slightly here. We can run from the responsibility that we're supposed to really handle. And it can go on for a while. It could look like we're managing and coping with the choice that we made for a while. I did for 10 years. It was like I had this house of clay, and each time a piece of the clay would fall off, I would just grab more clay and patch it up. I just kept patching, but it was never really nothing solid there. And I mean, there was something solid there. I probably shouldn't say that, because I had the security of my ex-husband, my husband at the time, I had the security of a stable income, a stable, there was insurance and all these things, that there was a level of comfort there in the midst of the discontent. The discontent was I couldn't really be myself. The divinity that lived within me was slowly dying every day. I stayed in that situation, and I was aware of that. And I wanted to stay in that for, several different reasons. Because of where I come from in my life, in my background. I used to rip and run the streets. I went through some very hoodlum type of things. And so for me to go off and to run and get married and have kids, it was like my peers was like, damn, she made it out. She's doing real good now. And I felt like I was the pillar of hope to them. And so I tried to maintain that image. And it felt good to look like I was recognized for something good. And, I was that pillar of hope. So I felt like if that failed, if my marriage failed, I felt like I was letting them down. I felt like I would let them down. I would have to, it was shameful for me. I felt that would happen. But I got into something that I thought I was ready for, but it was premature. I was in a premature state, should I say. And as I begin to grow as a woman, I was learning things about myself that I liked and that I didn't like, and it was in the midst of me being in my marriage at the time. I know I wasn't supposed to get married at that time because I knew the Most High was trying to process me. But he still gave me mercy and grace in the midst of the situation. But it was like you can't run from the process. I'm still going to process you in the midst of this situation. It's just that now he gets to see it, and it's going to be messy. You know. But it all worked together for the good. And I say that because sure, we've made decisions that we thought were best for us at that time at the level of intellect that we had. And it wasn't a wise decision. And God will still give us grace and mercy, and he won't allow us to fall in the midst of the separation, because it's going to take you out of it, because it's preventing you from reaching your full potential. And sometimes you just have to get alone by yourself. This is my season of self. Sometimes you got to get by yourself and sit with the Most High, the Creator, and really hear what it is that you're supposed to do. And I feared that. I don't know. There was just this part of me that feared that. I feared that internal, responsibility. And then there was that level of comfort, that safety net. In the midst of the discomfort, I felt like my ex-husband had my back. At least I know there was always going to be a stable income coming in while I'm pursuing my dreams. That was my thing. Amongst so many different things. But like I said, this video originally was 33 minutes and I lost it. It like snippets. So there's a lot of things that I'm scrapping back up to put into this video. However, in short, a lot of us are running to get into things to avoid facing or dealing with the process of facing ourselves. So yeah, trust that process. It all works together for the good.